Hello.
Hello, humans of the world.
Welcome to This with Adrian and Melissa.
Hey, y'all.
How you doing?
What's going on?
Oh.
Right. Exactly.
Happy Tuesday.
That part.
Well, actually, happy day.
Happy day. Happy another day of living.
Right.
We should be excited about that, right?
We should, and we are. And in the meantime, we're going to celebrate our liveliness by shouting out the people that have engaged with us on social media.
Hi, humans.
Love you. So I want to give a shout out to Your Beautiful Truth, Mend History 24, hey. West 9000, hey. Podcasting Life, Miss Magnolia 1969, Queen Kells 718, Bird Lady 312, and Joan Chen. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
Love you. Mean it.
So, talk to me. How was your weekend?
Girl. Okay, let's start with the good.
Yes, always with the good.
So I went out on Friday night with a couple girlfriends that love to dance as much as I do. Now it's been a while, a really long time since I've shut down a place, but it happens. It happens more often than I guess not. But this time, I mean, when I tell you I was drenched, every article of
best workouts ever.
My shorts, my tank top. Yes. I think even my heels had sweat stains in them. Like,
Ooh.
It was so good. The DJ was that good.
I love those nights.
Yeah.
I miss those nights.
Yes. Well, we can make that happen.
Yeah, can we?
Yeah, we really can. And I like being a little bit older because now I have like these little concoctions I can take before I go to bed so that I only wake up with sore feet. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
What's this concoction?
Girl,
what's
I can
happening?
I mean, there's
is this like some like brew to survive?
Well, there's a couple of things you can take. A little bit of activated charcoal. Those are amazing.
That's a new one. I heard the milk thistle or whatever.
Milk thistle?
Yeah, people have that one, but I've never heard of
activated charcoal and a little green tea. Mm-hmm.
But who's doing that while they were drunk?
No.
You have to prep it.
No. You can take it when you go home. Like, before I go to bed, pop those little activated charcoal pills. You can find them at Whole Foods. And some water. Just please jug your water. But I drink a lot of water. I think I had one drink at the club when we first got there, and then I was on water all night.
Oh, okay.
So that's when you know that the DJ is that good, because you don't really need any more alcohol, and you just keep dancing. It was so good. The atmosphere was right. It was good. Yeah, it was really good.
That's the right type of party.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I had the opposite situation. I had a relax, release type of weekend, and I had lots of plans, but then everything started canceling, and I'm like, maybe this means I need to just lay here.
Yes, it does.
And then at one point I would like get up and I'll start doing something, and then like my body was like, no, just go back to bed. So then I did, and then like I got up and did something else, and then I didn't really get out of the house till like 3 o'clock on Saturday. And I like ran some errands, and I came back, and it was just me time, and it was amazing. I needed that. I'm doing a lot, so I need to just slow my ass down sometimes.
That's good. It's good for you to check yourself. I like it.
Yeah, so it was nice.
Look at you, grown Melissa.
I'm getting all grown up and stuff. So let's start with the challenge from last week. We asked if you can cut some social media off for a short time, an hour, 30 minutes, and think of any practice that you can do to apply self-care and self-love. So what did you do, Adrian?
I actually had a lot of moments. Later this weekend was pretty tough. And so I had some time. I actually had an evening where I turned off my phone. I did some breath work. I took my little salt bath, and just spent some time alone, kind of trying to recenter. And it was definitely necessary. Breath work is everything, let me tell you. So, my challenge was definitely met and exceeded where I was. So
nice. Yeah, and I practice just silence. My silence is good. So in the morning I just laid there for a while, didn't look at my phone, didn't turn on the TV, just like laid there, allow my thoughts to come and go.
I can't imagine you being silent.
Oh my gosh, I love silent time. I am social by default. Like, I'm not social like in real life. Like the real Melissa likes to be at home by herself, just staring at the wall or thinking or writing.
There you go.
I did get back to my writing this weekend, which was nice too. So I did some like releasing and therapeutic times. It was
good.
Really nice. Yeah,
good.
I needed
that
it.
part is self-care.
For sure.
It's not narcissistic. It's self-care.
It's self-care. So stop with that narcissism stuff. Like, I don't know who made that up. So to go on today's topic, I kind of wrote a little blurb about what we're going to talk about today.
Okay.
As we watch the world break out into chaos with all the natural disasters, the destruction amongst our nations, our ideology, our politics, our culture, our differences, violence and love, the wokeness and the protests. Well, this is to induce the natural evolution of our world. So, what the F chaos? Let's talk about it.
What the F chaos?
What the F chaos? So, some of the words that we're going to search on Webster to see what he has to say about them
Webster.
is chaos, which Webster says is the complete disorder and confusion. Ascension, which is the act of rising to an important position or a higher level. And transition, which is the process or a period of changing from one state or condition to another. So I think it's the perfect time to introduce my friend and a writer, author, a poet, a genius, a bomb man. Okay?
Well, I
Okay.
mean, that's an introduction. For
I
you.
mean, I'm just madly in love with him. I love him so much. He wrote his book, and he wanted to make sure that he gives off the vibe of it being a self-discovery toolkit, providing insight and knowledge, poetically written, to assist one to dive deeper into the different aspects of oneself.
I love it. Since I'm on that train right now.
Right, I'm definitely on that train. So, come on in, Chris.
I was like, who is that? Who is she describing? Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Come on in. How are you?
Good. No, I'm in between you two.
Hey.
I mean, this is a good spot to be.
You know.
I heard that before.
How are y'all?
We are amazing.
Well, actually, you sounded great from the intro. So
Oh,
I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Thanks for
inviting me.
being here. This is a really tough topic. I mean, talking
Yeah.
about what's happening in our
It's
world.
layers.
Lots of layers. We're going to really just try to hone in on the chaos, the aspect of ascension, and the transition that we're in. We want to kind of keep it very informative, make sure that people understand like what's happening and what's going to happen and what really is happening, rather than, we get so lost in the chaos that we really don't pay attention to the actual detail and the process of this all. So, we wanted to touch base with that. So first, tell us about your book.
Okay, cool. Actually, my book, ties in completely with everything that's going on, because what else are we doing but really recognizing that there is a level of self that we need to figure out, identify, know, in other words. So the title of it is called Receive This Moment.
Stop
The
it.
gift that keeps on giving.
Stop it.
Yeah.
And it's a published book, so everyone can find it on Amazon.
Yes, correct.
Right now, right now.
ASAP. So with the title being said, I like to ask people, what does it mean to you to receive this moment?
In this moment, I mean, it's to be very present, to be extremely present.
Yeah.
And not only in the presence, like when you're with someone, but also to be present with self. So there's a whole different aspect when you are trying to tap into your higher self. And it's really important that we learn that right now. At least it's for me, it's my journey.
Boom.
For sure.
Yeah.
How about you?
And for me, I think this moment is calling me to literally ascend, which is perfect word to be used in this topic, because I feel like I'm being called to be greater than what I am. I'm being challenged to be bigger, to kind of delayer from all these things that I'm afraid of, that I'm questioning, all these doubts, and just really hone in on my potential and my greatness.
That's what's up.
And so I am very involved in this gift and spending a lot of time with self, like you, just really idolizing and understanding and diving into who I am. So
Come on, dive.
right, we diving and swimming.
That's cool. That's awesome.
So, when we think about all these natural disasters and the political tension, what do you think is the overall purpose of this chaos right now? And we can you can take it however you want, whether it's the earthquakes or the hurricanes or the presidency or whatever the case is, just overall.
It's all feeling just back to back.
Yeah, I think because we've had natural disasters, we've always had like crazy weather patterns going on, but I think right now, this moment is purpose to show us that we need to work together. Like, I think we've always been such a categorized collective group of people, from city to state to country to culture to race to religion, but then it's like, can we set aside the things that make us different to really focus on the things that make us the same, so we can look out for one another and care for one another? Because when there's a hurricane, you're not concerned about this guy who's black,
right?
Just because you may have some like racial tension inside of you. You know what I mean? Like, it's, I want to help. Because you're human. You know what I mean? So I think it's almost like a call for us to really see, can we stick it out as people, as human beings, and protect and nurture and care for one another.
Connect.
And I think it is possible. I mean, we just had 9/11 yesterday, was the anniversary.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if neither of you know, but I was there on 9/11. I went to high school across the street from the Twin Towers. So I was there that day in school. I was 16 at the time. I was a junior in high school. And I just, every time I try to tap back into that day, I mean, it still feels like a bit of a bad dream, like it kind of never really happened. But every time I tap back into that, I just remember like the amounts of people who were holding hands, who were running, the amounts of people that were helping other people. In that moment, when is literally destruction in front of you and you're in survival mode, no one is really that concerned about like all these things you mentioned, right? Religion, culture, like none of that matters. Like, you are literally thinking that you're about to have your last breaths. And when you are in that detriment moment, I think it just does something to you, to your environment, to everything. Like, everything just kind of just shifts. And I mean, there was no pushing. There was no, like, people weren't aggressive. It was a very sad time, but it was also a very, like, there was a calm in the chaos. It was like I remember after the first building fell and we ran and we were on the bridge, I remember us running, and then like there were moments that people will run and then stop and then run and then stop, and you're thinking like, okay, that was the worst of it, so in that moment there was like this, like, it was like a really slight like silence. Like, I could almost hear it right now. It's like a loud silence that happened right before the second building fell, because everybody was kind of calmer. They stopped running. It's like, all right, the first building fell, we made it, okay, we're good. And then the second building fell, but right before that there was this like calm in the air. And I'm just like, gosh, if that moment could last longer, like, life could be so much different, if that moment of just silence.
It was like a presence.
It's like a presence. Like, everyone was there, everyone was grateful, everyone was just like, we dodged that bullet kind of feeling.
Yeah.
And then the second building fell, and it was like back to chaos. But it kind of is ironic that it happened that way, because that's exactly what life is, right? You have like moments of like calm and peace, and then there's chaos, and then back to peace, and then chaos. And it's like, I'm sure we're all individually going through that. Then the world is going that collectively. Then our nations are going through that. Then our planets, like, you could go deeper and deeper into this, right?
Very true.
But I just wanted to kind of tell that story just because it's perfect the way you said it, and it's so relative to 9/11 and what happened that day.
Well, there's a lot of residual from that day.
Yeah,
there's a lot of residuals from like what's going on right now with Hurricane Irma in the Caribbean and in Miami in the south of in the East Coast. and I didn't really realize until of course I went on Facebook yesterday and I just kept seeing all these never forget these things for 9/11. It was overwhelmed. I was completely overwhelmed. I was like, I can't do this. And he shut that down. And then just kind of had a moment and was thinking about all these things that were happening. And like you said, it's like the whole reason for it is to shake things up and realize, I think, we get really comfortable in our separations. Like you said, you know, okay, well, this is the category that I fit into, and I've worked really hard to get into this category, or I was born into this category, or whatever it is, the identity that you've decided to stick with, right? And each identity, each category, it always separates you from somebody else. It puts you in a box. So there's separate boxes, and all of these things, when you don't have any control over them, it reminds you, it humbles you real quick, real quick. I don't care like what category you are, but when you lose a loved one, somebody else is in a different category and they lose a loved one, you still feel the same pain. And it's gut-wrenching. And it sucks that we have to come together and feel a connection in our pain, but it's monumental right now. At least I'm feeling it heavy. And I was thinking about it, and I was just like, what is the point of this? Because this can't be it. Like, this pain can't be it. This can't be just the whole purpose of it. And it is. It's literally to say, you know what, I'm just like you. I'm connected to you. I'm literally connected to you. Just because we're not connected by, you know, skin or joint or even blood, we're connected. Like, accept it. And then, like, let's get together and help each other.
Yeah, I mean, there's even theories out there, speaking of connection, that these natural disasters are connected to our climate change issues, right? As far as the intensity of these hurricanes, like, are we affecting that?
Yes.
Even on a more, I guess you can say, spiritual, conceptual level of these natural disasters showing the uncovered emotional traumas that we haven't dealt with, and it's forcing us to face it.
Preaching to the choir today.
Yeah.
I told you he was gonna come in here and be wild.
Yeah, man.
It's definitely delayering. I even, you know, going back to like the racial issues and our political climate, and, you know, I know Trump is, I mean, I'm not reading too much about what he's doing, but I know he's like demolishing all these like laws and creating new ones, and he's just creating havoc. But I think the havoc is necessary in order for us to turn the page. I think there is a page there might be not even just a page turning, it might be a new book,
chapter, something.
Like, we might need to trash that book and start a brand new one. Like, we need a whole new system, government wise. We need a whole new system, community wise.
Education,
like, everything
healthcare
needs to be broken down. So as much as we want to be mad at Trump right now for being an idiot, his idiot process is actually is actually part of the process and the transition. I think him messing all of this up and stirring it all up is bringing us making us aware that these things have been sitting there for a while. They are expired. Like, things need to be renewed. Our insurance needs to be renewed. Our right? Like, why all these things about ourselves need to be renewed, but when it comes to all these systematic things that move our whole world and our whole country, does not. Like,
the perfect analogy I use is, it's like we are using a, let's say, a PC computer, and I don't know what the latest Windows.
We're on 10, I think.
It's like 10 or something, right? But like, we have the perfect PC. It's like the most sleekest design, right? But we're on like Windows 2. You know what I'm saying? We're on a really old software, and we continue trying to like work that software, but it's like you're working with the software that's just old.
And a lot of things
are back to DOS.
We can't go to DOS.
I feel like we've stepped all the way back. I'm just like, oh,
yeah,
what
with the
is
little,
this?
you have to type in the command.
Right, with the green flashing.
Yeah.
Ding, ding.
Right, and not only that, but like, I feel like a lot of things are moving quickly and with the times, and then other things are not. So it's like about the joining of things growing and moving together in this transition. Not just humanity, right? But our process, our culture, our thinking, our movement, our power. Like, we're going to start enhancing. I mean, I'm already seeing it in our new generation, like the way they think on another frequency than we do.
Yeah.
Already.
The way that they be.
Yeah.
They're just like I'm gifted.
unapologetically
I'm talented.
great.
Right. It's
I'm
amazing.
here to
You know
just-
how long it took me to tell myself that and make myself believe that?
I
Like,
know.
it took me
Yeah.
a while, and these people
And
are
they're
just born
coming out
this
the
way.
womb.
They just come in.
Like-
Yeah.
I'm great.
Here's my greatness.
Hello.
Right. I've arrived.
I have arrived.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally.
definitely,
And
yeah.
my 9-month-old niece, like, I look at her and I was like, who do you think you are? And she just looks at me like, you know.
Hello.
Right.
Hello.
And it's
Yeah.
just incredible. So I'm excited about this change. So what do you, just to kind of go off gears, what do you guys think about this idea of ascension?
Go for it.
Well, I have a lot
Oh,
on that,
wow.
but I'll try to
Yes.
simplify it the best I can.
You don't have to be
sim-
simple.
Yeah, let's start simple.
Mhm.
In simple terms, we are moving from one dimension to another. So, in this rising, of course, we're going up into a higher dimension, right? So you can look at it as if we live in a 3D world, and so we've lived at the lowest dimension, which is 3D. And our ascension is taking us from 3D to a 5D world.
We're skipping
Which-
4? We're just going to skip 4?
I think 4.
Just asking.
4. No, I think 4 is actually the dimension that includes time.
Oof. I was
So
just
you're
speaking
talking
with time.
about. So you're thinking like the fourth dimension is like basically the transition, the duration
Yeah,
that it
it's-
takes from 3 to basically ascend to 5.
There you go. Yeah. So, well, and also 4D is kind of recognized as that. Ooh, how can I say? Like, you know, when like you have those sensations of like different experiences that are like in your peripheral or in your like dream state.
Yes.
Is 4D.
Your subconscious.
Yeah. And yeah. So in this jump, because that's what it really is, but it's a long jump because it is a transition, right? We're moving to a higher perspective of how we view ourselves, how we view life, how we view the world. And in that comes not only new perspective, but actually new bodies.
Hey.
Like our bodies are changing.
I could see that. And I
Like,
was having a
have you-
conversation about this.
like,
Like we're turning
you know
into
how-
little mutants.
Have you noticed how like people are just like looking younger and younger just
Yes.
by,
Like I thought about my grandmother
just
at
said
you
that.
16.
know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's not how my mom doesn't look like. Actually, my aunt who's 60 something, she doesn't look like nothing like my grandmother did
Yeah.
growing up at 60.
Yeah.
So it's like
Like-
we're
like,
transforming into like
when I look
little-
at my sister's high school photo, and she was like, my bad, throwing you out there.
Yeah.
sis, but, like she was in high school in like the 70s,
Mhm.
and like they had like just a older look. But if you
Yeah.
look at your high school like photos now, they look like babies.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So we have the age youthfulness,
Mhm.
right? But even you can do some research on like our DNA
It's changing.
changing from a carbon-based structure to a crystalline structure.
Ooh.
Now you have me just
Right.
curious. I'm like, okay.
So do some research on that, which basically, if you think crystal or like diamond or
Yeah.
things that sparkle, like refers to light, right? And aren't
That's
we
what we
kind
are.
of like,
we're light, we're energy.
yeah, we're kind of moving into understanding that we are light beings and we are
We are
just
source.
more than our bodies.
If you, yeah, I mean, if I,
So.
it reminds me of thinking of, you know, when you think more on a spiritual level, that you are source. So
Yeah.
if you are not necessarily in the religious aspect, but when you think of yourself as, I am God, I am goddess, I
Yeah.
am source, I am divine,
I am a god.
I am.
Yeah.
Like I am the end
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
the
yeah.
beginning. It all starts with a it doesn't start
Yeah,
here.
yeah,
this
it's-
is
The
it's a-
physical self
it's
is
an
right.
invisi- it's an
This is from the
invisible thing.
experience.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like this isn't. Who
Have
we
you
are.
ever put your hand up to the sky and noticed that like you can see
Orbs?
through
Oh, some of the tips
like
of
the
your
light
fingers?
of
I mean, I
like,
have, but I
it's not
never really
even-
looked more like into it.
Like check it out, or even look at how like your skin has like a thin rainbow film kind of thing, like when you put it up to the light.
What?
Yeah,
What
like
do you
it's
mean?
really like if you just look really really close when you're out in the sunlight, so
Mhm.
you can like put on some lotion too to help, but like you'll notice there's like a small like this really thin film of like a rainbow kind of like
I could see
kind
that.
of color.
I'm
'Cause,
gonna
I
check
mean,
this out.
We are energy, and we are
Yeah.
energy. We are energy based, and we are light. So it has to exist within us at some realm. You can be able to see it. So I could get there with you. I could get there with you.
Yeah. So Ascension also includes the transition of like how we like operate with building materials, with change of government. It's all going from separated systems into united systems.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So how do you give advice to people on ways that they can start to prepare or adjust, right? Because this is like an idea, this transition, right? In a way, it feels like a bit of a stretching.
Oh, it is.
It feels
Complete
like
stretching.
right. It feels so uncomfortable,
It is.
right? It's an uncomfortable state, especially for not the newer generation, but everyone that's been around for a while.
Yeah.
Especially older, middle, even us. How do you what kind of advice would you give for somebody to prepare mentally for us to kind of release and let go of that fear of the unknown and start to adjust?
I don't know. I think if anybody's, if you're having the conversation, then you're somewhat already there.
Right.
So let's just start with that.
That's true.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So there's a
Awareness.
there's a
Awareness.
level of awareness and there's a desire, and you're already kind of in that realm
Mm-hmm.
of all right, I'm ready for this next thing, even though I don't know what it is.
What about the people that are not having these conversations?
We have to respect that because that's their journey.
right? And
Yeah,
I
and
don't
it's
think
not a like, let's gather everyone up. You know what I mean? It's all it's even though it's a collective thing happening, it's an individual
it's
journey.
individual time on
Yeah.
timeline for people.
Because when you began your self-discovery,
Mhm.
wasn't related to when your sister or your mom or you know what I mean. It was like you had your moment. You had your moment
Right.
when you know. So it's all like everyone's on their own timeline, I guess
Mhm.
you can say. But then you begin to meet and attract
Right.
the
And-
like-minded,
Mhm.
and it's like, oh wow, you're on that too.
Right.
Yeah.
Then you're like, that's my tribe. That's my
Yeah,
people. And I'm
yeah.
not so alone in this world of
Yeah.
doing the rat race or whatever. And
Mhm.
then all that starts to like
For
kind of
sure.
fall by the sideways.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
So what about day-to-day chaos? Let's talk more like in a granular level. How do you suggest or make people more aware of being mindful of their day-to-day chaos and how they can cope with it?
Well, to be honest, first thing that came to mind is really having a sense that the things that do come in your life to challenge you, usually our sense of like taking those situations personal come from a sense of like entitlement of what we have. And I think if we're able to kind of release our sense of this is mine and I need to protect this, like I think it's really getting rid of our overprotection syndrome that we're plagued with.
Can you give us an example, like a personal example?
I mean, like it happens with money all the time with me, you know? And so like I'm doing so much better with like, let's say if I get a tip from a Lyft rider, right?
Mhm.
And they pay me in cash. They
Mhm.
give me a tip in cash. My mind automatically goes to, oh, that's a snack. That's snack money for,
Right.
you know, next time. But then like I could drive down a ramp off of 405 and there's someone standing there with the sign, right? And so then in that moment, like I can go, well, because I didn't need that as snack money. You know what I mean? It was just me saying like that's
You
what I would
assigned
want.
it.
Like I assigned it, but here I am being able to bless someone else with the same money, and I can just flow that money. You get what I'm saying? But if I had more of a sense of nope, even though that's a small amount, but I could have been like nope, boom, boom, boom. You know what I mean? So I think it's more like
Shifting.
allowing things to flow and allowing things not to. I think we have to get rid of our hoarding, a sense of hoarding things, and like, and
Yeah.
entitlement.
Materialistic.
Like
you
it just
mean, or-
entitled. Yeah, and just entitling ourselves to the things around us. Do we really own it, or we're going from, oh yeah, remember the dominion? We're going from dominion, our sense of dominion over things, to cultivating. That's the shift.
That's big.
Yeah, because we're taught to like take over this and to own this, you know,
like victory,
right? And spreading and expanding your territory. But what if it's really about just cultivating what you have? That doesn't mean that you're not desiring for increase, but you're working what you have in front of you, because even though it may be small or not what you want it to be, but working that small helps you get to that next step.
That next level.
Yeah, that next level.
It sounds like something that I believe in the sense that, you know, when you kind of downsize and you take out the material things, it leaves more space for you to be creative.
Yeah.
And when you realize that you're the creator of your universe and that you can take what you have, and it's not a matter of let me attain.
Right.
It's a matter of let me create.
Yeah.
Let me sit for a minute and figure out what it is that that I need, that I want, that my community needs, what feels good to me. First of all, like what feels right. I'm gonna go after that. Everything is navigated like by how you feel. No longer is it navigated by, I'm supposed to have that.
Makes sense.
I'm supposed to have that Lexus or that whatever Jaguar or whatever it is, or I'm supposed to have the condo or the house, or again the 2.5 kids and the spouse. Like, no, it's not. I don't think it's like that anymore. I think that's part of the shift, is that we will navigate completely 100% by feeling,
intuition,
and we'll know immediately when we meet people. I think it's already happening now, but it will be a faster process in dealing with the experiences of life, loss, love. Things will move much more quicker because we'll be able to be more in tune, and we'll understand what our feelings mean. There'll be a different type of language that we'll be using.
Yeah, so true. I see it.
That just like made me tingle.
I see it. Yeah.
That was good.
That's what I've been feeling.
Going from obtaining through the mind of what we should and moving into the heart.
Yeah.
The heart space.
Right. And have that connect with your throat chakra, and then you'll be good to go.
Which is another way of saying, like, because, you know, we have this patriarchal world, right? And so we're moving from that greed, ego, and possession into more of a heart space of love, compassion, and
empathy and understanding.
And nurturing.
Yes.
And receiving. Yeah. We're learning how to receive.
Yeah.
That is definitely new for me.
Yeah, there's some. I have loved ones in life that are a little bit older, just maybe the next generation or whatever, and it's really hard for them to receive large. And I don't even want to say winnings, but givings, right? So it's almost too much, and it's always like, oh no, I can't accept that.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh my gosh, like when they finally, first of all, it's a fight to get them to like accept it. And when they do, they're like, oh my God, I can't believe. Oh my, like, what did I do? Yeah. And part of me is just like, oh my gosh, I just want you to realize, take a moment and like understand that you're a freaking amazing manifester.
Yeah.
You wanted this and this happened, and it's okay to accept it or receive it or allow it to come to you. Like it's okay. Like it's actually a good thing. Just respect it in gratitude. That's all you have to do. And it'll keep coming.
This is a hard one for me, guys. I have a really hard issue with this. And as of recently, I'm like, I've been always faced with it. I think it comes from my upbringing too, because my mom is like that and my sister's like that. So I think it's like an upbringing thing and being used to your environment, being very like self only, like you get what you get, you earn it and you get it and you go after it, being an independent woman, you know?
Right.
But I've recently come to really being face to face with my prayers, face to face with the things that I've asked for, that I've yearned for, that I've cried for. Like literally, they're like falling in the palm of my hands, and I am freaking out about it. And like part of it I think comes from not being used to it. Another part of like I have these little questions that come up like, but do I deserve it? Like or am I ready enough? Or I mean I know I prepared and I know I asked for this, but like, are you sure? Or like, how do I know this is real? Show me something that it's real. Right. And it's my human, I know it's my human side, is my demon side, just like trying to attack my greatness. And I'm just like, you guys need to fall back, okay? Because I'm about to be great and I need you guys to fall back.
But it's a process.
But it's definitely a process, and it's hard. Like it's literally pushing me in a different level of existing, right?
And trusting
and faith and hope and knowing when you see it, know it, right? Because I see it and I know it, but it's like accepting what I'm looking at. Like, yes, Melissa, this is your prayer right in front of you. Accept, like, yeah, and own it. And I'm having a really hard time with that. But thank you, God, you know, and angels and all. Like, I'm grateful. I'm super grateful. It's new for me. And I mean, I've been experiencing it on a lower level with you. Like, sometimes, like, I remember one time you bought me dinner, and, like, I was, like, broke that day, and I didn't know how I was going to have dinner. And, like, I just came in, and here was Adrian. Was like, yeah, morning dinner for us. And I was like, how did you know? Like, I almost freaking cried. Like,
I love those moments.
Yeah, it was just so amazing that you could be aligning yourself in a place where worry doesn't exist, fear doesn't exist, and that literally everything that is for you will come to you.
So imagine if you navigated through your life completely like that the entire time.
I know, that's why it's
like with utter
so
belief.
Uncomfortable right now, but I know that that's where it's leading that way already.
But
I'm already seeing it in my own life. I know in the world, and I feel like we'll go on and say, because
I was gonna say we're moving to that, whether if we like it or not.
Yeah.
And it's just like we were sharing the analogy of like this transition isn't about us obtaining it or about us like reaching out, because that's what we've always been taught to do, to reach out to get this goal,
to get what we want.
But we're literally receiving it, and we have to make room for it.
Yeah. It's a shift. It's different because it's always been there.
Yeah.
Everything that we like, I believe that now I believe you know, that we're here to be happy. We aren't here for suffering. Even though everything surrounds us, it creates fear of suffering. So we expect the suffering, or we're going after something because we got to put so much effort into it, and it might be the hardest path ever. But in our reality, our destiny, or what we're meant for, it's already at our fingertips. It really is the path of least resistance.
That's a good that's a good one.
It is. If you align like your vibration with what it is that you want, you can feel that.
You just let it go and it will move.
Then it's going to come to you because it's meant for you.
Receive that.
Can you receive it? Can you receive what you are setting intentions for, setting your prayers out for? Like, are you willing to receive it?
I'm freaking ready. What the F, chaos? I'm over it.
Yeah.
You're ready.
I'm ready to receive it. I just know that I need to do more mental practice, right? Practice my thoughts, not overtaking my actions. Right now, I'm able to decipher them, so that's amazing. Like, I've come a long way.
Huge.
Yeah, that's huge. So it's like, okay, now I'm able to decipher them. Now it's like, okay, my actions behind them, right? Making sure that I don't make a erratic decision based on those negative thoughts, right? So that I can completely be open to receiving it all, because I do indeed deserve it. I know it in my heart I deserve it. I know it in my heart that it's something I've really always wanted, and all these things that I've waited for and yearned for. So I know it's mine, and I know it's here. I just need to relax, really,
right,
and let it go.
Just ready to receive and allow it.
So what about, you know, obviously in this transition there's a lot of ugly stuff, right? There's a lot. It's like I like to call it like the shedding of like the crazy and the nasty, and it has to get worse before it gets better, right? There's
only it now. It doesn't have to be like that, but it is like that.
It is
because
like the way
that we've the way that we've taught ourselves to learn is to bump our heads before we
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like,
touch the stove. That's when you're going to know you can't touch the stove anymore.
Yeah. Exactly. So
go ahead, touch it. Go ahead.
We have to fall in order for us to learn how to walk.
So it's happening, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ugly things that's happening. I mean, look at Mother Earth pissed off, like kicking our butt right now, you know? So what do you say to this ugly process? Like, what do we realistically tell ourselves based on this? I mean, for me, the actions that I take is not watching the news much and not subjecting myself to all of it because it's overwhelming. But the reality is that half of St. Martin, 90% of St. Martin is gone, right?
Yeah.
Florida is going to take a long time to recuperate from this, right? The real tangible thing in our face is that there's destruction.
Definitely.
There's protests and people are just, I mean, I just saw another protest that was happening and people were just beating each other up, like literally. So what do you say to people dealing with the realistic, right? Yeah, we can, be in our home and think whatever, but the people that are right now without a home, who are, still underwater in Houston, like, what do you say to that?
Help in the ways that you can.
Yeah.
Like, I think when we feel like we're adding our 2 cents to whatever the issue is at hand, you can say, like, I've done my part. And even if you can't physically or tangibly give something, that, if you set, a prayer out for people in Houston, or if you set like whatever it is, if you're donating to give clothes or give toiletries to a certain foundation that's sending out to the people in Miami, then like do that, because you'll feel better instead of just like, feeling like you're
overwhelmed by it, but act,
ignoring. Contribute in any way that you possibly can.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was I pulled cards last night, and my first card was kindness, and it reminded me that when you're in a state, like for those people that are without so much, and they need, right? If you can wake up and say, okay, I'm going to focus on kindness because it's what I'm trying to draw to myself right now, because I need somebody to really like come out of their pocket, their home or something, because I'm in need, but it's the kindness of their hearts. At the same time, like, what can I do? So when I go out into the world, or I go out of my bedroom, how am I going to, number one, be kind to myself? How am I going to be kind to somebody else? In what ways? And I feel like that moment is and that type of thinking happens often in the middle of chaos. Like when you lose everything, it comes down to, again, like connection, but actions. Well, what can you do? I've lost everything. I don't know what I can do, but I can help this lady across the street. Like I don't know, ask somebody for a bowl of water for this dog that's right here. Minor things, but it's something.
Yeah.
Something.
And I think we should start paying attention to the little things that do mean a lot.
And one more thing is checking on your people. Like, it is the smallest act to say, like, hey, are you doing okay? Like, if you know people that are in Florida or wherever the chaos could be. But that little thing, like, it means a lot. And you can tell, like, just from responses I got for some people that are in, like, Tampa Bay area, Tampa, Florida. I know it made a difference. And I didn't think I mean, you do it because it's like
it's a natural
their
instinct,
safety thing, right? But we take like little things like that as that act of kindness, but it's small, but it means a lot.
Agreed. So what are some techniques that we can give people to cope in this chaos? I know that Adrian sent me a video from this lady, her name is Mel Robbins.
Yes.
And she has this ideology of this 5-second rule.
I love it.
That changed her life. I thought it was pretty, I mean, her overall story was great. But tell us a little bit about what was her intention. And
so she, she has a great story, like we all do. So I will say that that she had success, and then it kind of had fallen, and she was questioning everything, and her husband's business, and her kids, and how they were going to send them off to college, and and as I listened to her story, there was a lot of relatable moments, I think, for a lot of people, in a sense of when you're in the midst of your own chaos, you're working through your own internal emotions. You also are trying to keep up not only a facade, but a normalcy to the rest of the world, because not only is your onlookers are looking to see what you're going to do as an example, an inspiration, but they might be looking, depending on how invested they were into your life or your business, to see if there's any holes in your story. So when she was explaining this, and she spiraled into a bit of depression, I think, like we all have, but she came up with this ideology. It's literally, when you have a thought, a feeling, you have to put action into it within 5 seconds. The reasoning behind it is that our minds are really meant to protect us. They're meant to keep us safe, right? So when we feel like something naturally comes to us, especially something that's maybe like that we've never done before, our brain within 5 seconds is going to give us a list of reasons why you shouldn't do it, because it's trying to protect you. Then of course we just feed into that, and it creates this little spiral of it, and then you don't do anything, and you don't get to your greatness, which we're talking about, getting to our damn greatness,
right?
So I really appreciated her, and she's got a ton of things on YouTube, but basically she just says, if you feel anything, if it's to reach out to that friend, if it is to start a business, do an action, whatever that action is. If it's writing it down, if it's making a phone call, you want to be that person to put your 20-year reunion together, then start calling. Just call one person, send an email to one person. Yeah. Just do it within 5 seconds. Take an action to do it. And then that's how you keep moving forward in life.
Yeah. And she says she does it for everything, every decision that she makes. Like, she just practices this, and it's made her be able to start all these things.
Well, and I feel like it would just feed into my ADD, but that's I'm all right with it. I'm absolutely all right with it.
Yeah, I'm kind of like that, that spiritual annoying friend. That's
great.
Yeah, because I am it's the smallest impression of thinking about someone, and then I'll shoot a text.
Yay.
And then I'll get that, oh my God, I was just thinking about you, or or you were just in my mind, or you know what I mean, whatever the case may be. But that happens all the time to me. But it's like a nudge. It's like that small little impression, you know what I mean? And even if you don't have a backup to why you're thinking about it, or why I thought about that person, I still will shoot that text or that phone call, whatever I feel is necessary.
And it's okay to say, you were just in my brain. You were running laps in my brain. Yeah. I don't know anything else.
And if you're forgetful like me, put it in your calendar. So I've been putting making calls to certain people in my calendar as to-dos, because I get these thoughts all the time. I'll think about someone, they'll pop in my head, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna call that person later, and then I just forget. And so I've been
that's your action.
That's my action. I've been scheduling it, so it's immediately the thought comes. It's oh, I need to call this person.
Yes,
and putting it in my calendar. So
look at you.
That's a little cool technique. I just started it last week.
Hey,
nice.
Thank you, Mel Robbins.
Right. So I also found this article is 4 ways to remain centered amid all of life's chaos by Jennifer Marut.
Hey, Jennifer.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. So the first one was visualize. She talked about calming the mind down and start to envision the outcome you'd like to see happen. Don't get attached to these ideas. Simply start imagining yourself happy, healthy, safe, and loved, and begin to visualize a friendlier situation and an outcome. Thoughts have power.
Yep, they do.
Yeah.
The second one was train your subconscious brain to have a different default thinking than it does now. Wishful thinking for different circumstances isn't enough to transcend us. We've got to feel it. If we wish for things to be better or different, but underneath it all, we feel that we are doomed no matter what, then nothing will change. It takes us retaining our subconscious mind to have a different belief system. Use affirmations to help improve your mental and emotional fitness. For example, a mantra saying everything always works out, or only what is best will happen. Words have power.
They do. That's, you know what? Just by you saying that, it reminds me of the mantra bracelets, which I have a couple of them on now, but it also reminds me of scrolling through Instagram, and how many posts do we have that are just words? You know what I'm saying?
Lots of words.
And they make you feel some type of way.
And all of them are so
I
good.
go like searching sometimes. I'm just like, inspiration. Who has a hashtag? Like, give me something. Hit me.
I have 900 screenshots. Okay?
Yes.
That's cool.
And I just like post them after a while. Like, I just go and post like 10 of them at once, of like the ones that like stuck out to me. Because I like literally just look, and I follow all the quotes people, and I'm into quotes.
Yes. But words do have power, so it's not only you so I'm read, people. Go get Chris's book and read. Number one. Number one. Number two, choose your words wisely. And number three, just be aware of the words that you allow, or that you're going to repeatedly expose to yourself. And that's big.
Boom. So the first one was thoughts have power.
Yep.
Second one was words have power.
Yes.
Number 3 is develop faith that things always turn out to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
In order for us to transcend our situation and create more peace in our lives, we have to feel it. The best way for us to succeed at levitating above the mosh pit is to have faith. To have faith, we must believe with conviction that everything will be okay, even if we can't currently see exactly how. When we possess faith, that inner knowing is a feeling that we have. We know feelings have power.
I think they have more power than thoughts.
Ooh.
Thoughts,
aren't
words,
they? I mean, feelings is what starts fights. Really?
Really? The way it starts fights?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, like, first it starts off with like, "Oh, you're ugly," but then after
like,
that, you get
made
upset.
me feel like,
yeah.
what you just said
You get
about
upset,
me?
and then once you get upset, we
What?
fight.
Like,
It's
you
really,
just took me to another level.
It's not about what you said to me no more. For
No,
real.
it's about how I
you-
feel.
How I feel.
Right. And now we got
Because you just
beef.
crossed me.
Right. I like it.
That's the hood mentality. I love
Yeah.
it. Number 4 is keep your eyes and heart focused on how you can add value to the world each day. Life purpose is my favorite. It's our own unique mission in life. The reason we are each here. It is our individual gift we were born to share with others. It is what we are here to serve and dazzle the world with. It is our DNA and a part of us. It is scripted on our souls. In moments of mayhem, cling to your purpose in life. Stick with what is true to you. No matter what is going on in our lives right now, our only guarantee is our life purpose. It will never leave you because it is a part of you. When all else fails, focus on how you can add value to the world. If you are wondering what your own personal life mission is, follow your dreams. They will lead you there. When you're contributed value to the world each day, you feel centered, grounded, and at ease. Action is power.
Oh yeah.
So these are the 4. Thoughts have power. Words have power. Feelings have power. Action is power.
Holla.
So can I share some of my power?
Please show us your power.
I am ready to
I
receive.
got some words with some thoughts that I wrote down.
Ooh,
They were
all of
backed
that.
by some feelings that might move you to some
Feelings,
action.
you know what I mean?
Right. Talk about alignment. We didn't even
Come
practice
through.
this.
So we did it.
I like this.
Okay, it's called The New Game and Playing Field.
Ooh. Sounds like dating.
Talk about it. We are going into the field. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Make yourself comfortable because it's going to get uncomfortable. Every ounce of fear that you have been equipped with will be challenged. Every ounce of time you have tried to control will be savaged. You are going all the way in. This stadium will force you to see where the game is really played. We thought we had opposing teams we played against, but we are all really supporting the same side, just different names. We thought we had fouls on the play when we really had backup strategies to intercede the day. We thought the win was on the scoreboard and the trophy was our takeaway. But what if the bleachers caved in, the field goals began to lean, and the crowds cries out in fights and brawls? Do you continue to play the same for an "I proved you wrong" ring? Who told you how to win this thing? Who told you there's a top to lay hold of and conceive? Who told you there's freedom in succeeding in the end goal that you're trying to achieve? Just because the game clock is ticking, do you ignore the alarms that are going off all around? Maybe it's your moment to strategize on higher ground. Maybe it's your time to analyze how you are moving, what vibration you're leaving, what makes your choices what they are. How do you perceive your plays to sound? The field is increasing in sensitivity and will affect your identity as a player and as a lover. No longer is there room to count on your coaches, your teammates, and your fans to validate your greatness. No longer is there room to rely on who you've been told you are. No longer is there room to count on old plays and mindsets to take you far. There's a reason for your current position. There's hype in the airwaves about this preparation for your next mission. Will you continue to play the game the same, or will you listen to the call to rid of all the things that make you inhumane? Your heart is needed for your pride to be weeded, pruned of trying to figure out how the game should be played. But the signs will intensify in showing you it will not progress smoothly in using old ways. Lessons will be presented much more quickly, where your resistance to the process will heighten if you're not open to unknown or risky plays. We are entering into a space where your trust is your must, your courage is your power, and your love is undoubtedly wholeheartedly required. Even when you're alone and those people on your team leave you to fend for yourself, are you willing to hold steady to your truth? The field is showing up. The field is new. The field is here. The field is you.
Yes. Yes.
Snaps.
Yes.
Did I tell you guys that my friend was a poet though? Like,
Yes.
what?
Chills.
Soaking
Chill.
that.
Damn.
Oh yeah, I'm liking that.
It's too
I
real.
had to close my eyes and just like
Yeah,
be
it's-
in the
yeah,
field. I had to
something
be
to
in it.
receive for sure.
Yeah,
It's
that's
too
big.
real.
Yeah.
I need the last 3 lines. I need to repeat that like every day, I think.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof.
What made you? How did that come to you?
So the way I wrote my book is it was very like I'm a meditator, so I think my meditation has cleared my mental space to receive
Okay, third
what's
eye.
necessary.
I see you.
So it's like
Mhm.
like my writings are intentional for the actual month. So I intentionally prayed for this for the month of September.
Really?
Yeah.
And he does this
Beautiful.
monthly.
This is beautiful.
Yeah, so I'm starting to do it monthly.
That's
now.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Look at you.
So I'm looking for like the way to platform it, to share it, like do videos with it and stuff. So yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna, you know,
Okay.
I'm gonna look out for that.
Mhm.
Oh, we on the
it's
lookout.
coming.
Oh, we on the
It's
lookout.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're part of the family now.
Right.
Definitely.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll have him back several times, I'm sure. So let's redefine this truth. Although
Really like
I must
that.
say Webster did impress me with these 3 words, but he still got some things wrong. Chaos can seem to be complete disorder, but we have to keep ourselves aware that the universe is leading a transition. This Webster got correctly. Transition is indeed the change of one state to another. The state of living, of being, and what seems to be confusion in the world is now aligned with the next level in ascension, and which indicates ascending to a new level which will require for us to rise to our highest potential. Be ready to be greater.
Be
The
ready.
time is now.
Is it?
Right.
Oof.
Whew. So, the challenge of the week.
Hello.
Let's choose and actively practice a technique to remain centered in the chaos of this world. Whether it is to not watch the news for a few days or practice one of the tools listed above about the thoughts being powerful and the words being powerful. Just to be centered within yourself and find peace amongst the chaos. I'm going to try because I need it. My whole life is a mess, so I need to figure
It is
this out.
not. You got your life together. It is not a mess.
Okay. There's transition happening. Let's say that. It's in transition.
We'll get used to it.
Right?
I know. I am.
Yeah.
We're real comfortable in it. With that being said,
right.
I just want to say thank you, Chris, for coming and joining us
so
and
glad to
sharing
be a part.
your knowledge and your energy and your perception, just all your good juju.
So dope.
This was
Right?
so my zone. So,
Well, then you coming back. You coming back. And on that
definitely.
note,
I would love to be here.
you guys can find us Thistru on SoundCloud, YouTube, Instagram, and now Facebook, iTunes. Yes.
Hey.
Follow us. Hit us up.
They
Comments,
everywhere, y'all.
please.
Hey.
Ladies.
Bye.
Take care.
These niggas, I dust off these niggas.